books of the prophets. Isaiah chapter 5, God's disappointing vineyard, 5:1. Now let me sing to my well-beloved the song of my beloved regarding his vineyard. My well-beloved has a vineyard on its very fruitful hill. He dug it up and cleared out the stones and planted in it with the choicest of vines. And he built a tower in the midst and also made a winepress in it. So he expected it to bring forth good grapes, but it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge please between me and my vineyard. What more could have been done to my vineyard that I have not done in it? And why then, when I expected it to bring forth good grapes, did it bring forth wild grapes? And now please let me tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away its hedge, and it shall be burned, and break down its walls, and it shall be trampled down. And I will lay it to waste, and it shall not be pruned or dug. But there shall come up barriers and thorns, and I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain on it. And for the vineyards of the lords of hosts in the house of Israel and the men of Judah are his pleasant plants. And he looked for justice, but behold, oppressions, for righteousness, but behold, a cry for help, and pending judgment. Woe to those who join house to house. They add field to field till there is no place where they may dwell alone in the midst of the land. In my hearing, the Lord of hosts said, truly many houses shall be desolated, great and beautiful ones without inhabitants. For 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one's bath, and on a homer of seed shall yield one ephah. And woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may follow intoxicating drinks, who continue until night, till wine inflames them, the harp and the strings and the tambourines and flutes and the wines in their feasts. But they do not regard the works of the Lord, nor consider the operations of his hands. And therefore my people have gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, nor their honorable men are famished, and their multitudes dried up with thirst. And therefore Sheol has enlarged itself and opened its mouth beyond measure. Their glory and their multitudes and their pomp, and he who is jubilant shall descend into it. And people shall be brought down, each man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled, but the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God who is holy shall be hallowed in righteousness. And then a lamb shall feed in their pasture, and in the waste places of the fat ones strangers shall eat. And woe to those who draw iniquity with cords and vanities, and sin as with the cart's rope, and that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that he may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near and come, that we may know it. And woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And woe to men mighty in drinking wine. Woe to men valiant in mixing intoxicating drinks. Woe, justify the wicked for a bribe, and take away justice from the righteous man. Therefore, as the fire devours the stumbles, and the flames consume the chaffs, and so their roots will be as rottenness, and their blossoms will extend like dust, because they have rejected the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the woe to the holy ones of Israel. And therefore the anger of the Lord is aroused against his people. He has stretched out his hand against them and stricken them, and the hills trembled, and their carcasses were as refuse in the midst of the streets. And for all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. He will lift up the banners to the nations from afar, and will whistle to them from the ends of the earth. Surely they shall come with speed swiftly. No one will be weary of stumble among them. No one will slumber of sleep, and nor will the belt of their loins be loose, nor the straps of their sandals be broken. Woe, whose arrows are sharps, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hooves will seem like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind, and their roaring be like a lion. And they will roar like the young lions, and yes, they will roar and lay hold in the prey, and they will carry it away safely, and no one will deliver. In that day they will roar against them, and like the roaring of the seas. And if one looks into the land, behold darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened by the clouds. Roaring. God bless you all. There's a lot going on right there. Using a lot of analogies, of course. with the vineyard, with the vineyard.